Okay guys, up on the Eichberg once more. Not ideal conditions to do a camera test, but I thought it's windy, it's overcast, a good time to test the stabilization on my Rampage, on my drone.
The flight footage is 2.7K in 4:3 with 60 frames and Hypersmooth stabilization turned on. GoPro colors are in Pro Tune flat, so these are quite natural or normal colors. It was a dark afternoon, so not the best conditions. It's not 100% sharp under these conditions, so more light would definitely help. More light could also introduce some cello, which I didn't test yet. Stabilization works nice, although you see some micro movements on the horizontal axis, I'd say. Here those movements are good visible. You can smooth this out with stabilization in editing software. It's a bit cumbersome that you have to do it anyways, but yeah, no camera stabilization is perfect, not even the Hypersmooth, but it does a really good job, admittedly. On maneuvers like this here, you would normally see some prop wash oscillations from my not so well tuned quad here. So that's what this stabilization really smoothens out for you nicely. You will not have to take care about your tunes so much anymore.
It wasn't too windy, to be fair, so it's not how smooth can it look in high winds test at this moment. But at least it was gusty, so you've already seen it now, but I'm really eager to see the stabilized footage. It's really kind of got me back. GoPro got me back with this cam.
The more I watch my footage here in these dull light conditions, the more I come to think that maybe in better light the Hypersmooth stabilization would have worked better. So don't take this too serious here. The stabilizer is really good and everyone praises the stabilizer for being a real breakthrough and being the best feature of this new cam. So don't judge it too hard, and you will see in the next sequence with edited, color graded, sharpened and stabilized footage that it can look really good even on such terrible conditions like here. So enough of the raw footage. Let's head over to some edited sequences.
would be awesome here, if not for the wind. The wind is really, it's getting cold here. Have I told you this? Shoutouts to the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand. Hi Bruce, passing over the summer to you guys down there. Hope you can make good use out of it. In the meantime, I will capture some more scenery with the new GoPro 7. I really love it.
That's my Peugeot eScooter, by the way.
Let's get it on. If you wonder about the range, it's around roughly 40 kilometers, which is fine.
Once again, I used the 2.7K 4x3 mode to use Hypersmooth stabilization. With another firmware update later, 4K 60 Hypersmooth also became available, so that's maybe the better option. When you see the lower part of my bike, you really notice how much the stabilizer has to work, like here. And also on the sun flares you can see the shakes.
Microphone, do you hear me? Just viewed the first footage directly on the screen, which works nice by the way, and it looks awesome, I have to say. The mount here is really not the best, and it was really shaky all the way around here.
On this right here I used the linear mode, which is lens distortion correction, which also disables the stabilization, and without Hypersmooth footage is unusable. For a direct comparison, see those two shots. I mean, it's morning and evening sun, but the same road, the same bike, same mount. Yeah, it's awesome. Let's see resolutions. Here I'm always at the same distance. Different resolutions zooming in onto this villa. This is 4K 30 Superview ProTune Matte. This is 4K 30 wide, also zoomed in. This is 2.7K 30 in wide. This is 1080p 30. And 720p 60 with some water on it.
Like in 2K 60 with Hypersmooth. Is this a gimbal shot or what? So I swapped to selfie mode, which is 2K 30 frames, Hypersmooth and 4x3. In 4x3 you don't have to care that much about the angle, because you can move up and down and still be in the frame, while you don't have a real display to look at, which makes it easier to look into the lens and not on the display on the side. You have the LCD display, which gives you status, how long you've been recording, there's the red blinks of course, and battery level. Readability is good. I think under normal conditions, without any wind or without a lot of wind, you can actually use those microphones well to do this vloggy style run around with the not so ridiculously looking GoPro on a little gorilla pod instead of a DSLR. In this shot I just want to compare the sharpness in 4K 30 with and without Hypersmooth stabilizer. As you can see, I'm in wide mode. It's a pretty wide angle shot, but I want to see details in the center and also on the edges here, sharpness details under those bad lighting situations. What about the sharpness here on the edges?
Here with those great straight lines and the perspective and enough sharpness, we go through 4K 30 in super view mode and 4K 60 without stabilization in wide. Then I zoom in to this 4K 60 with the video software to 300%. Here we see 2.7K 30 in super view mode, 2.7K 30 wide. Now let's activate the lens distortion correction, the linear mode, which zooms in a bit further and looks good. And here I tried the option to zoom in with the camera's digital zoom, which looks no different than zooming in video post-production, so it doesn't matter.
Same shot with digital zoom disabled. Okay, let's check the sharpness and color fringing. So hard contrast, tree branches against the sky. Shouldn't be an issue, but we should check it. Okay, so since this thing has Hypersmooth, I can walk down here. As a good transition again. I did show you this yesterday. Still on 2.7K. White dynamic range test, sharpness test, and the bridge with details in the distance. Stabilized, 2.7K, 30 frames, totally handheld, and soon to be totally out of breath. I don't know if you guys see how steep these steps are. Just have to imagine but it's rewarding up here. Yeah, could be a cool vlogger cam. The only thing that you have to keep in mind, I think, if you talk into your cam and move your fingers alongside it, this will produce some rather ugly sound. So I try to give you an example of the stabilization while walking downstairs. Okay, one last shot here at the bridge, which should also give you some good examples of sharpness. And I'm all doing this now in the 2.7K resolution, which I prefer to use.
The slow motion mode is very cool, of course. You have 240 frames in full HD in 1080p. However, the edges are a bit rough. It doesn't have any post-processing in cam at that speed. But 240 frames means you can slow it down 10 times if you run on a 24 frames project. That's quite a lot. So our last test here is first low light. It's right after sunset with some nice clouds. But here you start to see, like when I hit this speed bump, that the image is blurred, and if it's blurred, the advanced stabilization mechanisms can't do its magic. And so it only stabilizes with the gyros. So you see my dashboard moving a bit, but it's not all the magic. And in darkness it's even worse, of course. So in the nighttime, don't use the stabilizer at all, I would say. Don't rely on it. And I even saw that the GoPro 5 was way better in low light than the 6 and the 7. So it's not a low light cam.
Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe if you aren't. Use the bell notification to get emails when I upload videos. Let me know in the comments, how do you like the GoPro 7? Did I miss any features to test for you? Are there any questions left? Just let me know this in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye.